Just waiting for a few more people to join the live stream here, guys, and then we'll get started. Oh man, why won't it give me that? Let me see. I'm looking for just not liquidation heat map, but let's see. Liquidations. Liquidations for Bitcoin, please. Short still getting wrecked out there. Yep. All right, guys, welcome to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien. Let me go ahead and turn the music down just a little bit. I remember we had a little bit of a music volume issue with TikTok yesterday, so let me just make sure I take care of that right away here. We're looking at the price of Bitcoin currently trading at $73,200 and still climbing here for Bitcoin. What was great to see is that here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we did do a daily candle close. That happened about 8 minutes ago. We had a candle close above the 200-day moving average, this red line here, okay? That was curving down here. To me, this marks the end of the bear market. We could still come down and go below it, but I mean, we have not been above it at all since November of last year, guys, okay? We lost the 200-day moving average on November 3rd here, and it was sayonara, goodbye. We'll see you some other time, and I guess that other time is right now. We came close to threatening to get above the 200-day moving average here in May with the potential passing of the Clarity Act, but that was only through a Senate subcommittee. It wasn't actual passing of Congress, and then of course I think things started heating up again in the Middle East, and that wasn't good either, and that sent us down to lower prices here. But right now, with the way things are, with the Middle East kind of like taming itself, with the Federal Reserve not really raising interest rates, even though there's talks of them doing it next month. We got to be on the lookout for that. And we also got the Treasury buying bonds here to try to lower interest rates. I mean, a lot of good things are happening for Bitcoin to actually get a leg up to higher prices here. And you can see that we climbed up just as fast as we climbed down. That whoosh that we got towards the beginning of June, we're kind of canceling that all out, and we're getting right back to where we were towards the end of May here, okay, for the price of Bitcoin. And that's possible, that is possible here. If you throw on the VRVP indicator here, you're going to see that there's really not that much resistance. Once you get past like 65K, the volume nodes drop here, and there's something here around like 71K, which I thought could have been a resistance, but it didn't act as resistance. And now ahead of us, we got like 74,400, somewhere around there, 74K to like 75K could be where we see a little bit of resistance here for Bitcoin. Okay, using this VRVP indicator, but yeah, I mean, look at this. Like once you get past that point of control, and you start to make a decision as to where we're gonna go here, there's not that much resistance. There was something here around like 67K, and then there was something here around like 71K. And 71K, I think that's like where we ended the day at, right? Yesterday, right? I have to look at the daily candle close here, but oh no, we only got up to like 70K, but still like 71K. We sliced right through that today. Like it didn't even matter, and we're still climbing up to higher prices. I think something here between 74 to 75K. There's some resistance there. Of course, there's more of that the higher you go. Looking at like 77 to 78K could be resistance levels for Bitcoin. For those who are wondering, when is this rally going to come to an end? And I feel like some people are saying that because they got caught off guard because there were a lot of bears out there, including myself, that were expecting Bitcoin to at least revisit low 60s and go into the 50s here. But what did Bitcoin do these past few days, past few weeks that could have shown that there was something brewing here for higher prices? If we look at the RSI indicator here, we did see that we were making higher lows here in the RSI. Let me go into the weekly time frame because it's even more prevalent there. Okay, what do we do with Bitcoin here? Okay, let me get rid of the moving averages because that's a little bit irrelevant right now. But if we just look at the prices here, we were making lower lows here on the price while making higher lows here on the RSI. Let me just zoom in on this indicator here. Okay, but we were making lower lows on the price while making higher lows here on the RSI. And for those who know, that is your regular bullish divergence there. It's showing that buyers were stepping in, preventing prices from going down. And if you get enough more buyers to come in, yeah, you will eventually pop up like you did right here. You got that impulse candle here. We're up like 16, almost 17% here for the week here. For this, I believe this third week of August here, and for the price of Bitcoin. So that's a pretty damn good week for Bitcoin. Congratulations to the bulls, those who are bullish on crypto and buying at these lower prices here. You're getting rewarded for that right now. I just don't know how much long-lived this can be for Bitcoin, because anything lower than 82,800, which is what we saw here in May, is still considered a lower high. And guess what? The bears might come and show up to ruin the party here and actually bring us down the lower prices here. But I mean, this is a very strong candle here, punching all the bears in the mouth here, including me, right? At some point, you get punched so many times in the mouth, you have to realize that maybe the market is changing direction here on us, and we might actually start being bullish here. What are the bullish catalysts? Well, yesterday they came out with some regulation for CFTC and for the SEC. They're going to start doing more regulations for crypto. Even if Congress is not going to pass any laws, they're just going to make their own rules, I guess, without having anything written in law. And you know what? That's similar to what the Biden administration was doing with crypto. Like, they didn't have any rules or laws about what can and can't be done in cryptocurrency world here and for the cryptocurrency exchanges here in the United States. But they still made their rules anyways and said that, Ripple was in the wrong, and they were suing Ripple, and they were suing all these other companies. And then Ripple fought back. XRP, Ripple fought back on that. And then they won the lawsuit. And then, of course, Donald Trump and the Republicans came into power, and they pretty much threw all those court cases out the window. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see that even though we might not get a vote on the Clarity Act until next month, they're now working on the rules and regulations for it anyways. And then we might get the actual law signed into a bill sometime next month. So there's some bullish stuff here for crypto that I think is coming into fruition here, coming into play, and that's why we're seeing the pop here in price. This probably would have happened last week. We probably would have had this last week or the week before that, earlier in August, had they actually voted on the Clarity Act, which they could have done, but they didn't. There was still a little bit of debate, and they weren't too sure if they were going to get enough senators to sign the bill, saying yes. That they have a good amount of Republicans, but I think they didn't have enough Republicans. And then there was also the Democrats were still fighting back, and they need to get some Democrats. They need a 60 votes to pass that bill, and they just didn't think they could get that in time. So they're gonna try again next month, because right now they're on vacation. So Congress is not in session right now. And we could have seen this happen last week or the week after that, especially with this bullish divergence showing up. But I guess yesterday, with the crypto summit that they had at the White House, with Donald Trump and the cryptocurrency executives, like they had Coinbase CEO there, they had Robinhood, they had a few other people there as well. I think the CEO for Kraken as well. There's a cryptocurrency exchange here in the United States. That plus them changing the rules with the SEC, and also the Treasury. The United States Treasury is buying long-dated bonds here and lowering the interest rates. That was enough to get this little pop going here. And I guess yesterday was the day to actually get in on Bitcoin and crypto here for that upside price action. Now, guys, let me know if you guys were able to get into that upside price action here. We got a few people in the chat showing up here. We got Bombs that says, what do I think about yesterday's $1 billion of liquidation? And what do I think about the order flow trading? Yeah, $1 billion of liquidation that shows how many people were shorting and got popped in the mouth. And I think there was a cascade effect there, where shorts that were in profit, ever since the beginning of June here, their stop losses were probably still at that area, or their liquidation levels were still at that area. And we just kept pushing. And then with that bullish news, plus all the shorts getting wrecked here, it just kept pushing us to higher levels here. And then every short got liquidated for the most part, including those who were shorting it back here in June, like in the beginning of June. Like we saw Bitcoin at 71K, and now here we are at 73K. So if their stop loss or their liquidation is at 71K, they all got liquidated. So that can happen. That is a possibility here. It's very hard to short Bitcoin this week, I'll tell you that. I was trying to short earlier today. I got knocked out of the trade. So that's that. Looking for a longs. I really don't like longing big green candles like this. So I'm not really longing. So I'm out of a trade right now. I'm not really trading Bitcoin or any other coin right now. Maybe if I see something in the charts here, I'll take another stab at it. I only did like one trade, and I was like, if I'm wrong on Bitcoin today, I'm wrong for shorting it. And yeah, I was wrong, proven wrong, and I got knocked out of the trade. Here we are once again pushing up to higher prices right now as I speak. Bitcoin at $73,800, now climbing up to that 74K area. And like I said, I think we could see between 74 to 75K, there should be something here for resistance. Let me go ahead and throw in that VRVP indicator one more time here. You can see that there is some high volume currently, like where we're at. Then there's some more of it once you get to like 76, 77K. There's some volume there for potential resistance, but we could easily pop up. I mean, if you see a little bit of a pullback, it might even make sense to try to even long it, going into tomorrow and seeing if we pop up to like 76, 77K. Let's look at previous price action history here. We did see that, Bitcoin was trading at like 76 and 77K around here. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRBP indicator here. But you'll see that, yeah, we were doing a little bit of sideways here before we took another dump from 77 down to like 73. Then we kind of hanged out near 73, 74 here. And then we took a little dump here. So right now we're coming up on resistance only because there was a little bit of sideways trading action here towards the end of May around like 73, 74K. That's the only reason why we're taking a pit stop right now. But if we get past this resistance area, potential resistance area, then I think we're going to be popping our head up to like 76, 77K. It's like maybe another 3,000 or 4,000 point move up on Bitcoin is what I see here. All right, let me get back in the chat here. I see we got Benji Thomas in here. Good to see you, Benji. We also got Jesse Sam in here as well. We got Matty Ghost. Matty Ghost says that tether dominance is getting destroyed. Yeah, we looked at tether dominance yesterday. Let me know if you want to take a look at it again, Matty Ghost. But yeah, tether dominance, just really quick here, is getting absolutely destroyed, as Matty Ghost pointed out here in the chat here. Let me go ahead and try to reset the chart here. But yeah, look at that. Like, destroyed here on Wednesday, destroyed here on Thursday. Like, almost like a 10% move down. We were trading at around like 8.5% tether dominance, and now we're at 7.4% tether dominance. So, yeah, man. And we lost that 200-day moving average. I know I talked about that yesterday. We lost the 200-day moving average. So, this could be the beginning of the bull market for the next bull run, next bull cycle for Bitcoin. You guys might be witnessing in that today. And I know some of you guys were thinking like, oh, well, the 4-year cycle guys say that usually Bitcoin takes, about a year from its all-time high before it makes this bear market low. And something bad could still happen between now and October. Like, they could put up that Clarity Act for vote in September and it gets voted no. They don't get enough votes. They might not get enough votes to pass it. And then what does that do to the market and market expectations that have already been built into the price of Bitcoin and crypto? That could cause us to drop, what else could cause us to drop? The Federal Reserve is still worried about inflation. I think the FOMC minutes showed that there was like nine people in favor of keeping rates unchanged, but there was like three dissenters that wanted to actually raise interest rates. And then if you look at the betting markets are pricing in that there should be an interest rate hike going into next month. And if we get an interest rate hike, that should actually cause, Bitcoin to lose some of its price action that it's been getting so far to the upside. So there's still like things to worry about out there that could bring us down one more time. But is it going to bring us down to new lower lows? Or are we going to actually maybe see Bitcoin drop down to like maybe 64K and then bounce back up to higher levels after that? Like, let's just game plan this out. If we do come down to like 64K, or if we start, getting bearish here, if we lose, the 200-day moving average here, we might, see more further price action to the downside. But if I put on this VRVP indicator, you're gonna see that we got this point of control here at like 63,900 is where I measure it. But then you could just say 64K just to remember it's in that area. Okay, you got all this volume here, which will now act as support if we ever come down and lose that 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is sitting at 68,900. That 200-day moving average can also act as a support in the near term as well. So we'll see if we can actually stay above the 200-day moving average. But right now, like, I think we're doing fine and dandy right now. I like what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin and crypto. All those people who had their faith in Bitcoin and crypto, you're getting pleasantly rewarded right now for being for sticking with it, and actually not losing the faith here. And now the ones who are rushing in the buy are probably the ones who panic sold, last month or back in June, right? And then also the ones that were panic selling earlier this year in like February, right? They're now seeing that Bitcoin's back at higher prices, and they're probably gonna panic buy in again. Okay, I know it. Patience is the name of the game here. We might have to see Bitcoin come down to that 200-day moving average before it makes sense for us to add to our spot bags. I wouldn't be adding to the spot bags right now. What we should have been doing was adding to our spot bags while Bitcoin was going sideways here. But, around there was a little scary because we didn't know Bitcoin was going to go down to 50K or 40K because some people were saying that was the price level it could go down to. I said that is a possibility as well. 52K was an area that Bitcoin could go down to, and I still could go down to later on this year depending on how bad things get out there. But, there's a support level at 52K. And then there's also a support level here at 42K. I'm well aware of that. But right now, Bitcoin is punishing the bears and people who were short selling it. And we got a little bit of impulse move here, a little bit of life breathing back into the markets again for Bitcoin and crypto. All right, let me go back in the chat here, see what we have to say here. We got Shafi in the chat. Good to see you, Shafi, here on TikTok. Shafi wants to take a look at Dog with Hat, I believe. With is one of the first requests here. Okay. And then we got Kevin Hawthorne in the chat. He says, good evening. Good evening to you, Kevin Hawthorne. And then we got me, myself, and I. Hello there, me, myself, and I. Jesse says, Houston. Is that a cryptocurrency, or are you just telling me where you're at right now? Hello to you, Jesse. And I'm not sure why you said Houston there, but let me know what that's all about. Are you giving us your location, or do you want me to look up the asset Houston? I'm with cryptocurrencies. I wouldn't be surprised if there is an asset called Houston. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if there is an asset called Houston. So just let me know if that's what you want me to look at, or if you just give me your location, because I never heard of Houston before for an asset here for a cryptocurrency. All right. Well, I do want to look at Bitcoin again one more time here, but we will now move on to another asset. We got a request here for Dog with Hat. I am doing requests here, so guys, let me know if there's any other cryptocurrency requests you guys have. Go ahead and fire away. We're looking at Dog with Hat right now. Currently trading on Binance Exchange at 16.5 cents, 0.166 pennies. Okay. And I'm still gonna use my favorite indicators here, the VRVP indicator, and I like using the moving averages to figure out what resistance levels we have ahead of us. Dog with Hat is cashing the bounce just like all the other cryptocurrencies out there. And we got the 200-day moving average. Look at this, right next to this value area high. So we got the red line here is your 200-day moving average, and then this solid white line going across the screen that's your value area high. That should be sitting at about 18 cents. And that should be your resistance area for Dog with Hat. I wouldn't get too high in expectations of going past that. I would expect to take a little bit of profit. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just put that disclaimer out. But it looks like 18 cents should be an area that we should probably take profit on whatever longs that we have on Dog with Hat. Okay. Now, just zooming in a little bit more, there is a little bit of volume node here at 16.8, and then something here at like 17.2 and 17.7 before we actually hit 18 cents. So I don't know if you're day trading yet, but you could pay attention to these volume nodes here. Could be areas to try to take profit. You know, along the way, take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, until you take full profit at 18 cents for your day trades there. But if you're in it for the long term, I mean, Dog with Hat's got a lot of proving to do. Bitcoin got above its 200-day moving average, and so did some of these other altcoins out there. But that 200-day moving average for Dog with Hat is sitting at 18 cents, and I think you need to get above that and stay above it before we can say that Dog with Hat is out of a bear market right now. Until then, we could just come up to that and get rejected, and guess what? You're still in the bear market if that's the case. Okay? So that's what I see with Dog with Hat. Nice impulse move. Let's see. Do we got the momentum to continue this impulse move? I mean, we might be seeing the beginning of something good and special here for Dog with Hat. You did get a green bite on here on August 19th, yesterday. And the momentum, the blue stuff, is racing upward here and trying to lead us to higher prices here. You do got, because of this momentum racing up higher, the money flow, which was red in August, is now turning green. Towards the end of August here. So that's good to see. Okay. And then as far as MACD goes, you got buying pressure here. And I don't see anything here saying that the parties need to come to an end, or is coming to an end soon here. Because this blue line is still rocketing higher, along with the orange line is trying to catch up to that blue line. If the blue line was to like go flat or start curving down, then I'm like, all right, maybe we're coming to the end of the party and the buying pressure is dying down here. But I don't see buying pressure dying down here. So I think Dog with Hat does look pretty good for now. You might see 18 cents in the near future. You might see that even later on tonight. Who knows? But I like what I'm seeing here with Dog with Hat for higher prices here. All right. Let's get into some other assets here that we're doing pretty well. Let's see. I want to look at crypto bubbles here real quick. Let's see. Crypto bubbles. Where are you, crypto bubbles? Where's my bubbles? So there you go. I mean, pretty obvious. Almost every single asset across the board in the top 100 cryptos is in the green. Look at this, though. Very interesting, though. Trump coin down 8.9%. What is up with that? Maybe we should take a look at Trump coin. Maybe that's a buying opportunity there. XMR is also down as well. Monero. But the high flyers for today, pump. Literally in its name is pumping right now. Up 24.6%. And then we got ENA up 26%. But I'm not interested in the buying opportunities here. Like, we know every crypto is going up in the green, but why is Trump coin going down? Let's take a look at that. I haven't had anybody request Trump coin in a while, and maybe that's why Trump coin is going down, because nobody wants it. But let's go ahead and take a look at Trump coin. See if it is a buying opportunity or not here. Let's look at Trump coin here on Binance Exchange. Currently trading at $1.63. Okay. Oh, well, Trump coin already had a pump. And the pump came in yesterday on Wednesday, August 19th. So it already had a good day, and you're getting a little bit of a correction and a sell-off here. But could this be a nice, pullback before we go up to higher prices on Trump coin? Let's do a Fibonacci on this one, okay? And then maybe I'll do a VRVP analysis on it. Looks like for Trump coin, we came out to $1.86 today. And looks like we might have started this little, pump up in price action around like $1.36. You saw like $1.36 last Thursday, last Friday. All right. So what do we do? As of now, looks like we came down to that 0.5 retracement at $1.61. Let's see. Today we came down as low as, Thursday we came down to $1.60. So I think we already made the 0.5 retracement here on Trump coin. If they would have taken it any further down, then maybe we come down to the 0.382 at $1.55, and that's also kind of like right where this 50-day moving average is at. So that's another area to try to buy up some cheap Trump coin if you're able to do so. But yeah, I mean, we already had a deep retracement. A normal retracement, I should say. A deep retracement would be taking it down to like that 0.382 or the 0.236. Funny enough, look at these numbers. They're matching up very well. The 0.236 at $1.48 is matching up with this 21 EMA. And the 0.382 at $1.55 is matching up with this 50-day moving average. So these, whether you're using Fibonacci or moving averages, they're both agreeing with each other right now. That could be support level for this little pump that we got on Trump. The Trump pump. Are we going to get a Trump dump, though? Let's see what momentum's doing here in the daily time frame. Your momentum, the MACD is still showing buying pressure, even though he had a little bit of a dump today. And I don't see the blue line curving down or going flat just yet. So maybe Trump coin could be a buying opportunity. I know some of you might not want to hear that. Some of you guys don't like Trump, but there could be a buying opportunity in Trump coin. Green buy dot that came in on Tuesday, 2 days ago. And then we got the blue momentum going up, racing up as well. Yeah, it looks like Trump coin had a little bit of a correction here, a little bit of a pullback. And I think if you wanted to like play a meme coin right now, maybe Trump coin might be it. If the Trump coin was to continue going up to higher prices, the Fibonacci extensions, the upside is your 1272. We could see $2 Trump coin here. And then we got a 1618 at $2.17. And then look at this. You got the 2-day moving average right above at 239. So there is some upside targets here. Now, just to finish off this analysis, I do want to throw in the VRBP indicator and see what some actual volume nodes might be for Trump coin here. Interesting. So we got right at that 1272. We got the we got the high volume node here at $2. Matching up with a 1272. So I think $2 makes a lot of sense here for Trump coin for a target to the upside. And then we also got the value area high, something to pay attention to here at $2.13. kind of sort of confluent with that 1618 at 217. So I think once you see $2 for Trump coin, maybe click that sell button. Not financial advice, but you know, taking partial profits or taking some profit there is not going to hurt. How much of a percentage gain is that, real quick here? Let me just measure that out real quick. Going from where we are right now at $1.64 to like $2, you'd be up about, you know, 21%, 22% there. Are you guys able to see that? 21, 22% right there. And then just taking it up to like $2.17, that would be like a 32% gain. And if we were to get up to that 200-day moving average at 239, that'd be about like a 45% gain right there. Pretty cool, pretty good. All right, let's see. Let me see what my TikTok guys are saying. I don't want to neglect my guys out there in TikTok world. You guys being kind of quiet today. Let me see. Did TikTok restrict me again? Yes, they did. Of course they did. I'm not sure how I'm going to get anybody to show up to the live stream here on TikTok if they keep restricting me. And I'm using their software too. I'm using the TikTok software to go live here. But yeah, it's a little bit of a that's a bit of a shame there that they're doing that to me here. But I do got the YouTube guys. YouTube's not restricting me. YouTube's being very nice to me. So hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think I might have to go back to doing TikTok on the phone because they don't restrict me when I'm on the phone. But sometimes they do, depending upon, you know, what they want to gripe about. But anyways, that's not really your problem, guys. But it's just, I don't know. I guess it kind of is, you know, because that means you guys won't be able to see me show up on the feed either if I can't, if I'm getting restricted here. But I don't know what to do. Besides, I would have to go probably do TikTok on the phone again and then do YouTube on the computer, which I was planning on doing that next week anyways. I think we had a pretty good week here doing YouTube on the phone. For some reason, YouTube does push out my content more, and I get more viewers, more eyeballs when I do YouTube on the phone. So it's like a battle of the phone here. It's like YouTube wants me on the phone, and so does TikTok. All right, let's see. We got Crypto Cruise in the chat here. It says, howdy, can we take a look at XLU and OSRH? I believe that is a stock because you said health, and I don't know any healthcare companies on the blockchain right now. But I'll write those down, XLU and OSRH. And then Matty Go says, let's check pump. Will it hit 0.004? Okay. So just to be fair to everybody here, I'll do XLU first. Then I'll do pump. And then I'll come back and look at OSRH for Crypto Cruise over there. All right. Let's take a look at XLU. But yeah, guys, I just charted Trump coin. Might be a pullback. We might have already had the pullback. And then if you're still bullish on this cryptocurrency pump we're getting, maybe Trump coin, which already had a pump, maybe that pullback might be your buying opportunity to get in on a meme coin that might continue pumping along with the rest of the markets here. All right. Thank you, Shafi, for sending me the heart me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. XLU, and I believe this is the one that we want to look at, right? It's currently trading at $43.96. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's just make sure that we're looking at the right asset here. But XLU is currently trading at $43.96 here on MEXC Exchange. This thing hasn't really been on MEXC Exchange for that long, has it? No. Looks like you started trading here on June 17th. Still a good amount of data here, but I don't really have that many moving averages here. Like if I get rid of the VRVP, look at that. You only got the 50 moving average just starting to show up here, that green line. And the 21 EMA, which closely follows the price action, is this white line. And yeah, we're below that right now at this moment. I'm wondering, are you looking at this as a potential asset that could pump up that is not actually getting the pump like the rest of these cryptocurrencies are? And what's going on here? Yeah, that's Thursday, Wednesday. So, wow. All right, is it because we had a little bit of a rally here last Tuesday? We went up, No, not really that much. What is the deal with this asset that is not going up with the rest of the market? Is there something wrong with this asset? Like we see all these other cryptocurrencies doing double-digit gains, yesterday and today, and this thing is actually going down on and bleeding off. Is this a buying opportunity? I have no idea. You told me to chart it though. Give me your thoughts there, Crypto Cruise. Why are we looking at XLU? Because I mean, this could be a catch-up trade, right? If it has any value to it, maybe it's going to catch up to higher prices here with the rest of the cryptocurrencies here. But let's see if it does play catch-up. Let's look at that VRVP indicator. Where could it catch up to? We got a value area low at $44.42. That's not too far from where we are right now. And then you got a point of control at $44.92. That's still like only $1 up from where we are right now. And then you got a value area high at $45.83. What is the deal with this crypto? It doesn't seem like it's a crypto. If you would have asked me, I would be like, is this a bank stock? Because like what, the highs for the year are at $46. And then the lows for the year is at $43. This thing has only gone up and down like $3. There's really not much going on with this asset here. So I'm curious why you're interested in this asset here. For a cryptocurrency, this is kind of laughable, the amount of the lack of volatility here. Like this is almost like a stable coin. You're trading anywhere between $43 and $46. I mean, for a percentage gain, let's see how much of a percentage gain. If we were to buy the absolute low at $43 here, and take it to the absolute high here at 46.50 roughly. This thing has only moved up, like, you can only get 8% out of this asset. If you literally bought the lows and was able to wait until we get back to the highs again, you're only going to get like an 8% move out of that. It's utilities. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So it's a cryptocurrency that tracks, I guess, the movement of utility companies, or it has, I don't know, utilities on the blockchain or whatever. I have no idea. I'm curious. I'm learning as I go here about this asset here. But XLU, is that like, isn't there like an XLU stock or ETF? For stocks, yeah, there is a utility sector. It's a utility sector stock here, ETF. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if it's just dealing with power plant companies, they don't really make a crap ton of money. They usually just, they're dividend paying instruments, and you just collect dividends and whatnot. So I really wouldn't really expect too much out of XLU, to be honest. Like I said, I showed you there, XLU, oh no, I just lost it. But anyways, let me go back to the chart again. XLU USDT, like that, the most you could get is an 8% move out of that. So I'm not really sure if that's something that you want to be doing. But yeah, all I can see is like an 8% move from bottom to top here. For some people, that's all right. I mean, if you're collecting a dividend, if you're making like income off of it, then I guess that makes sense. If it just goes sideways and you're just making income, whatever. I mean, you could do that with like buying a U.S. Treasury or a bond if that's what you want to do. I don't know. Anyways, we'll move on from XLU. We'll take a look at a coin that actually is moving, and that would be I believe Pump Coin here. And we'll take a look at OSRH after this. But Pump. Let's see how Pump's doing. We got Pump currently trading at 0.038 pennies, and I believe what's his name? Manny Ghost was wondering, will it hit 0.004? Well, it's getting really close to it. What did we do earlier today? Came up to like 0.039, just very shy of it. Crypto Cruise, you want to take a look at ARCA? Let's see. Oh wait, what? It's a State Street Utilities ETF on the ARCA. Okay. Will Ethereum touch 5K this bull run? We'll take a look at Ethereum. That's not funny. For one of the next requests here. We do have a request before that for OSRH, and then I'm also looking at pump right now. So just bear with me, but we'll get to your request here soon. All right, so pump, literally acting right. It's in its name, right? It's pumping right now. Let's see, pump on Binance. Let's see, back in October, November, September. I mean, pump. We did see pump at 0.008 pennies back here in September of last year, and it's been down and to the right ever since then. But now pump is trying to pump up from what it was doing here in the end of June. Damn, we saw pump get all the way down to like 0.0011 pennies. Okay, all right. So here we go. We got the VRVP indicator. Most of your volume, majority of people were buying pump at this dark blue line here at 0.0019 pennies. That should be support if we ever do come down there. There is some volume nodes here before you would even hit 0.0019, so this could be support around here. Looks like we got a high volume node here, right where this 21 EMA is at, and that's sitting at about 0.0027 pennies. I believe that should be support if we ever get a correction here on pump. But Manny Ghost is asking, can we get up to 0.004? Well, we got the value area high sitting at 0.041 pennies. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you and a lot of people are just being lazy with it, or, you know, it's a psychological number, 0.004. But it could push past 0.004 and actually go to 0.041 before it actually hits resistance. And that's your value area high sitting right there. Now, where's that value area high? It's right here at the sideways trading action that we were doing back here in October, November of last year. We were trading at about 0.004 and 0.0041. That's going to be resistance, because you got to think, the poor soul here that bought in November of last year experienced probably their first bear market they ever experienced, and now they'll be back to break even if it gets back to 0.004. They're probably going to want to click that sell button just to break even, and maybe they'll move on to something else. Okay, if they're not long-term investors, if they're not in it, you know, to win it for pump here. Okay, so I think 0.0041 is what you're looking for, resistance. And I guess, you know, what are we gonna look for next? We want to look at the momentum here. Do we got the momentum to do that? Right now, RSI is overheated, so keep that in mind. It is overbought. Momentum is climbing up on pump, so maybe you might get one last pump on pump before you you know, get a correction here. But this is looking good here for the momentum. The blue stuff is creeping up into the right here. Green buy dot that came in on Tuesday. I don't see a red dot. You're looking fine, but you're also overbought here. These red horizontal bars are overbought. Overbought bars here for the RSI on the market side VB indicator here. So you are, you know, treading with being overbought and getting a sell-off at some point here. And then let's see, we got the MACD. MACD is showing that buying pressures here, but I don't see anything here showing that the blue line is going flat or curving down as like a warning sign. So you might still get one last pump out of pump here. And you might see 0.004 pennies. When? I can't tell you when. I'm not a psychic. I'm assuming probably if it's going to happen, it's got to happen sometime this week, or else you might start getting a sell-off as people start taking their profits. All right, moving on from pump. We got to take a look at OSRH and then Ethereum. Okay. OSRH is a healthcare company trading on the NASDAQ right now. Medigo says pump is one of his short targets. Okay, so he's looking to try to short pump. So 0.004 is an idea. You know, it's a psychological number, but I showed you with the value area high being at 0.0041, there should be resistance there too. So not a bad area to try to short, in my opinion there, Medigos. Let's see. We're looking at OSRH. What are we looking for? This thing looks like it's been bearish here. Yeah, it's been going down and to the right. Throughout last year, it kind of went flat towards the end of last year, going into January, and then we just kept on going down and to the right. But every now and then we get spikes up. I don't know what the deal is with this spiking up here on OSRH. Maybe because you report good earnings or something. I don't think you even report good earnings. No, it's like you're expecting to lose 10 cents. You actually lost 18 cents. No, that's not a good earnings report. I don't know why that's not in red. I got these earnings reports on the bottom here. You got the letter E for earnings reports. And it should be red if it's a bad report. I don't know why it's white or gray here, to be honest. I usually don't see white or gray. Unless they didn't report earnings. Did they not report earnings? I don't know. Anyways, every now and then you get spikes up out of nowhere, usually around earnings reports. So just keep that in mind. Or sometimes a little bit after earnings report too. But you just had an earnings report and you got a spike up here. You went up 86% on Monday this week here. And then you lost it. You lost 27% the next day. I don't know what that's all about there. But, I mean, had you spiked up and stayed up there, you could have stayed above the 200-day moving average. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP indicator. But the 200-day moving average, that red line is sitting at 51 cents, and you weren't able to stay above it. So you can't... I can't call it the beginning of a bull market until you can actually stay above it. This is what I was worried about with Bitcoin. Is like, was Bitcoin going to spike up only for it to get spiked down the next day? And it didn't happen. So Bitcoin is obviously more bullish than OSRH right now. OSRH had a chance to be bullish here, and then it lost the next day and then kept on losing it. And you're back to where you started at the beginning of the week. What the hell? Yeah, you're back to where you were like since last Thursday, last Friday. Like this whole week didn't even happen. I mean, it happened. People made money and lost money at the same time, and they're back to break even where they were at. From the end of last week. I don't. Yeah, this looks like an altcoin here. This is a healthcare stock. Okay, I guess healthcare stocks are able to do this though. So what? What is the deal with this? Because healthcare, I know, like sometimes they'll come out with like good results about a potential vaccine, and people get excited, and then they realize that it's part of like the first stage, and then they gotta go into a second stage, and then a third stage of like trial and clinic. So is that what's going on here? Do they have like a pharmaceutical drug? Like what is this company do? To be honest, let me go scroll down here, figure out the description of it. Operates as a global healthcare company. The firm engages in developing oral immunotherapies for cancer treatment. Okay, so they probably had good news about a cancer drug. People got excited, and then they realized that they still have like maybe another year or two of trials and whatnot, and then it goes back to like where it started from. So like, I'm not sure how you play that, right? And this is after the earnings report. Probably they reported, or it had a quarterly report saying that everything they're doing with the drug is coming along fine, but they still got a lot more work to do, and then the price just drops right back to where it was, before earnings got reported. So I'm not sure how you play this. Like, how do you play this? Like, you only play the earnings report. That's what you do. VRVP indicator. Oh man, let's see. Well, I don't know what this company does. It seems like it needs to start making money, to be honest with you, because everything is just down and to the right, down and to the right. The overall trend is down and to the right. Majority of people that were buying this, they bought it at higher prices at 68 cents. So if you ever do see this thing climb up to 68 cents, I think you should try to click the sell button. I mean, climbing up to 68 cents right now would be a double in price. All right, moving on from OSRH, we'll take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum. What do I have for you guys for today with Ethereum? Okay, well, at this moment, and this is just data going all the way back to like November, October of last year, we're at a high volume node right now on Ethereum. Like I think I mentioned this on yesterday's live stream or the stream before that, but I did say if Ethereum is going to be bullish here, there's a high volume node here, and that's literally what we came up to, $2,300. I'm expecting Ethereum to at least go sideways here because you got some people that were buying Ethereum back in April and May at $2,300. And if they're not in it to win it for Ethereum, If they're not long-term investors, they might decide to just, break even right now and move on to something else, okay? But I would expect resistance here for Ethereum. I would expect sideways price action for a little bit before maybe Ethereum makes maybe like a bull flag here and then pops up to the next level I have is 2,500 bucks. Why do I have 2,500 bucks? Well, I gotta zoom out. But $2,500 is where we were doing some sideways trading action going on back here in June of 2025. May and June of 2025. A lot of people were buying Ethereum at that level. It has also been like, you got candlewick close at this level. You have back here in 2024, you had a lot of candlewick closes at it for resistance and support. Okay, support, resistance here. So, and if I just like zoom all the way out here, I think you'll see the VRVP indicator is going to say, yep, right there. All right, so let me get rid of this red line. So this is, I'll take this out for now. I could always put it back on later, but look what this VRVP indicator is showing for Ethereum, right? You got high volume node here at 2,500 bucks. Sure, you got the high volume node here, the point of control at $2,300. But there is a high volume node here at 2,500 bucks. And then, like I said, I already saw that sideways trading action going on. Candlewick closes at that level. I think 2520 is the next target to the upside for Ethereum. So for those who are curious to know how much higher could Ethereum go in the near term here, I think 2,500 is your target to the upside at this moment. Then there's something here like 2,650, a little bit further above. Get above 2,650, it should get really easy for Ethereum to climb all the way up to about 3,000 bucks. All right, so you got 2520, and then 2,650, and then $3,000 are your targets to the upside for Ethereum, just using this VRVP indicator. All right, so let's go zoom back in on Ethereum here. Ethereum, even more bullish than Bitcoin. Yesterday it closed above it, right? And then we got another close above the 200-day moving average, right? This 200-day moving average was going to be a problem, and until it no longer became a problem, we busted right through it yesterday. So that's very good to see here. That's the beginning of trying to be bullish here. We haven't been above the 200-day moving average, that red line, since November 12th, November 11th of last year is when we started losing it. And we never came back up to it again. Granted, the 200-day moving average does get dragged down to lower prices as well. But I guess now is the time where we can actually be bullish again, getting above that 200-day moving average here for Ethereum. And let's look at the MACD here and look at the momentum on market cipher B. MACD is showing buying pressure here, and I don't see anything here that says that the party needs to come to an end. So maybe we do climb up to $2,500 here for Ethereum. And then let's see, looking at the momentum on market cipher B, we got momentum is climbing up. It's now starting to become a little bit overbought here. These red horizontal bars are your overbought. It's like an RSI indicator on this market cipher B indicator that we got. Right, this would be overbought. Down here would be oversold. The red bars means you should be thinking about selling Ethereum. And the green means you should be thinking about buying Ethereum. Right now, we should be thinking about selling our Ethereum. Hopefully, you're in profit. I mean, I would think so, because Ethereum went up like 20% yesterday. And then it went up again today as well. So now might be a time to sell, but you don't have the red sell dot yet here either, saying that you need to get out. So Ethereum could continue climbing up to higher prices here. And if you need a confirmation that you were overbought here, you can do here on the RSI. You're at 84 on the RSI for Ethereum. Anything above 70 is considered overbought. So just keep in mind that you are playing in dangerous territory of being overbought here on Ethereum. It should be time to sell something there. All right. That's not funny. I did ask, will Ethereum touch 5K this bull run? That was the question. Okay, so I kind of did analysis there on Ethereum. Well, I mean, we came close to it. Let's go into the weekly chart here. We came close to $5,000 here on August of last year. We went up to 49.55. I don't see why we can't do that again. You know, I think that would be a target to the upside for Ethereum. I'm not sure how to actually measure out, you know, price targets to the upside. Because to be honest with you, like Ethereum came up to like almost $5,000 back here in 2021. It was up like 48.67 here in November of 2021. Everybody thought Ethereum was gonna go to $5,000, and it for some reason it didn't. It sold off. And I thought Ethereum was gonna go past $5,000 myself, you know, in August of last year, and for whatever reason it didn't go. So I don't know. I guess that is gonna be the target to beat. Now, one thing to keep in mind that there is token inflation just with every coin here. Even Bitcoin has inflation to some extent. More coins do get added, so for us to go back up again to like $5,000 or 4,900 would require more money to go into Ethereum than what was back here in August of 2025. So you would just need to see more money go into Ethereum, plain and simple. Which I think is going to happen, especially with this Crypto Clarity Act going into possibly voted next month, and then maybe getting passed. And if that's the case, you know, a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges can offer they can offer stable coins as part of you know, yield bearing instruments. I know Ethereum has some staking rewards, and that was something that the banks are trying to fight you know, fight the bill for. And as long as they don't get rid of that staking and, you know, stable coin yields, then I think, you know, Ethereum should for sure be going to $5,000. But if they stop the cryptocurrency exchanges from offering staking, then there's a chance that, you know, it might be a little bit tougher for us to get the $5,000 Ethereum. But yeah, I think that's what you need to pay attention to. To answer your question, are they going to allow staking rewards to American cryptocurrency exchanges and also the ETFs that are you know, staking or holding on to Ethereum for their investors? Will they be allowed to do staking yields and give that yield money, staking reward money to the investors? Because if the answer is yes, then the answer should be yes to $5,000 Ethereum, to be honest with you. And I think that would happen sooner rather than later. I think Ethereum will hit $5,000 later on in the future. I can't give you a date when that will happen. Maybe it could happen next year, maybe. But that's that Crypto Clarity Act and the crypto bill and staking rewards, having the yields be legally allowed in the United States. With the United States having the most money and the most investors with the most money, I think that is very important for us to see get passed. To answer your question, you need that to happen for Ethereum to see $5,000. Crypto Cruise says it might be delisted by the end of the month, and if they win the appeal, it'll pump. We got Sir Naptime in the chat here. It says the bottom ain't in. Oh man, Sir Naptime is a little bit bearish there. So if the bottom ain't in, Sir Naptime, what is the bottom? Where and when will that bottom be? I guess we'll have to go back. Are you talking about the bottom for Bitcoin? Let's look at Bitcoin chart. I actually do want to look at Bitcoin on the weekly and the monthly here. First of all, let's look at Bitcoin on the monthly. On the monthly time frame, at least here in WEEX Exchange, you know, Bitcoin did hit the 50 moving average, this green line. Is your 50 moving average on the monthly time frame. That's sitting at 60,900. Granted, you know, the month before July was at 59,000, and then, yeah, 59,000 in the month of June. We spiked below that. Looks like we got a nice healthy bounce off the 50 moving average there, Sir Nap Time, on the monthly time frame. Let me go. Let's take a look at on Coinbase chart. Coinbase chart, yeah, same thing. Coinbase has a little bit more data than WEEX does. 2-week chart, we hit the 100 moving average and got the bounce. Weekly time frame, we hit the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame and got the bounce. We flirted around with losing it, but we got the bounce. Let's see what the momentum looks like on the weekly time frame. Look at this. Momentum creeping up. Money flow creeping up. Going from... Well, we were negative and we're still negative, but less negative now on the weekly time frame for the money flow. Creating a low, higher low on the momentum. And then MACD, weekly MACD, was weekly MACD showing? Yeah, we had buying pressure here in April and May. Then we had the ceasefire. The ceasefire kind of falling apart and them shooting at each other and all that stuff. And had a bad month of June, obviously. And then here we are with the buying pressure showing up here for the weekly candles here on the MACD. What does Rich have to say? Still doesn't change anything for you. All we have done is mitigate the dump from May. Now there is a good excuse to go lower. Okay. We got someone here that says, respectfully, mark my words, it's 80K tomorrow. Oh, there you go. We got a bull and a bear. We got Epic 007 is like the bull that thinks we're going to 80K tomorrow. And then we got Sir Nap Time as the bear right now, thinking that the bottom isn't in yet on Bitcoin. Well, I will help create a bearish case here. We'll try to look at this with a bearish, with some bearish sunglasses or whatever. If we have bear vision on right now, anything lower than 82K is still considered a lower high. The bulls have to actually push us above 82K, like we did here in May. 82,800 to be exact. Get us above that. And then you now are making a higher high. And what? Then the next thing could be like a higher low and then another higher high. And guess what? You're making an uptrend on Bitcoin again. But right now, I get why some might still be bearish because so far, I'm going to get rid of this because this looks like a laser light show here. My charts are starting to look like Sir Nap Time's charts right now. But if I make this a naked chart here for the most part, we had the all-time high at 126K in October. Then we had a low in November down to like 80K. A little bit of a rally here. Then we made a lower high at 97K. Then we came down to 60K here in February. That was another lower low. Then we made another lower high here in May at 82K. And then we still made a lower low in June around like 57K. And if we can't go higher than 82K, then guess what? It's still another lower high. And then we might make another lower low? That is what I think the bears are holding on to. But I can't be too bearish anymore, Sir Nap Time. I was with the bears up until Bitcoin did this. When we on the daily time frame, when we got above that 200-day moving average, I was like, I'm not calling it the end of the bear market until we get above the 200-day moving average. And that's what we did. And then we closed above it today. And here we are, the beginning of the new day. It's now considered Friday in cryptocurrency world. And on this Friday, we are actually still climbing up. We're up like 1% already on Bitcoin. Pushing up towards 74K. So I think near term, we could still be bullish. I wouldn't get excited about being bearish on Bitcoin. Yes, we'll try to play the potential resistance levels when we can find them. It's just getting tougher and tougher to find the resistance levels. The only thing I got, I can't use moving averages because Bitcoin's above all the moving averages now on like almost every single time frame. Okay. What I can do is just throw on the VRVP indicator and just scrolling back here. What's going on with my TikTok? What is TikTok doing? Come on, TikTok. What are you doing to me here? Okay. All right. I had to let TikTok know when I'm still alive here, even though they're not sending anybody into my live stream because I guess they're being evil to me. But anyways, getting back to the analysis here on Bitcoin, we're above the 200-day moving average. The VRVP indicator showing we had levels that I was looking at, right? What was that? Like 76, 77K. So like this value area high here around like 76,800. Data going all the way back to like January earlier this year, okay? We have a value area high sitting at 76,900. You can just say 77K. I think somewhere between 74 to 77K is where we might top out this week, and this might be it. And we should start looking for shorts again for Bitcoin because we have the sideways trading action going on back here in May at 74, 77K, somewhere in that area. And you have to think, like, people that were buying here in May and they thought, like, oh, yeah, we're going to rally and this is the beginning of the bull market, the bull run. And then they got dumped on. They might be scared now. They might be scared that Bitcoin is not going back up to 100K. And they might just want to break even at what they thought was a good price to get in at 76, 77K here. I would call this the late longs. The late longs, they saw the price go up. Maybe they waited till we get down to here and they bought that little pullback and then they saw Bitcoin continue pulling back more. And they're like, oh, what the hell? They might not have the stomach to actually be in Bitcoin. So I think when we get up to like 76, 77K, these people are going to start dumping on us, okay, just to break even. And I think that's where our resistance is for Bitcoin. So I think resistance at this point now is between like, 74 and 77K. At least that's what I'm seeing on the VRVP indicator and also seeing on the chart here. I mean, if we get past that, then it's like, all right, well, maybe the resistance is going to be 82K like we saw back here in May. But, right now, there is sideways trading action here at 77K to pay attention to. That is the next resistance level that I'm seeing. Now that Bitcoin keeps pushing its way up to higher prices, I think 77K is the next area that we should try to take a stab at a short if that's what you want to do here. Matty Go says he wants to start shorting Bitcoin once Tether hits 7.2. You're talking about Tether dominance. Let's look at Tether dominance one more time here. Let's see why Matty Ghost chose that level there. 7.2. My value area low on the Tether dominance is showing like 7.07. But yeah, I see, like, there's a little bit of volume here, 7.1, and then 7.2. We're actually at a point of control here on Tether dominance. You would think there should be a bounce right now at 7.3%. There should be a bounce here for Tether dominance. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, we might hear that, Iran launched rockets and missiles at Saudi Arabia's oil facilities, and then maybe Israel comes in and retaliates and actually blows up Karg Island's oil facilities that Iran owns, and then we go watch oil prices spike up above $100 to like $200 a barrel, and then that could be the end of this rally here for Bitcoin. Like, I really don't know. Like, I'm thinking, like, what's the worst thing that could happen tomorrow to, like, end this rally on Bitcoin and crypto? Can you guys tell me what you think could end the rally here? I think this rally that we're getting, like I said earlier in the live stream, is what we could have got last week or the week before had they actually voted on the Clarity Act and passed the Clarity Act. I think everything that we're seeing right now is what we would have seen last week or the week before. And just going back to Bitcoin, right? We'll go back to the Bitcoin chart one more time here. There was bullish divergence, especially on the weekly time frame here. I think I highlighted in the chart. Was it on this chart? It was on the this chart that I did here, right? With Bitcoin, we were making lower lows on the price. But look at the RSI here. We're making higher lows here on the RSI in the weekly time frame. There's your bullish divergence. It's right there, guys. Bullish divergence. Let me get rid of your VP indicator. I know it gets a little bit overwhelming sometimes with the charts, but there's your bullish divergence. You got lower lows on the price, higher lows on the RSI. This was showing that something was cooking here. Now, I wasn't sure, like, last week and the week before when things weren't looking so bullish. Bless me. What we could have done was we could have had a little bit of a sell-off here and made a lower low and still create more bullish divergence where the RSI would have came down and maybe only go down that far and then maybe make a higher low and then we go up again. That was a possibility here, right? We could have made a little bit more bullish divergence, but we didn't. We got the impulse move this week. All it took was Donald Trump and his boys to like meet together in the White House, Coinbase CEO, Robinhood CEO, the CEO of Kraken Exchange. They all came in and they said, you know what? Who cares if they pass the Clarity Act? We're just going to make rules anyways, as if they passed the Clarity Act. And that's what they did, with the SEC and the CFTC. They just said, hey, you know what? We still think the Clarity Act is going to get passed next month, so let's just start working on the rules anyways that we're going to have once they do pass that Clarity Act. And the leader of the Senate, I forgot his name. His name is like Thune or whatever. The Senate Majority Leader, the guy that's in charge of the Republicans in the Senate, he scheduled the vote to be September 15th, I believe, right away. They're gonna get right to it, so that probably means that they actually think they're gonna pass that Clarity Act as soon as they get back in the session again in the middle of September. Remember, right now Congress is having a vacation right now. It's like a 1 month vacation for them, and they go back to doing their job again in September. And look at this, guys, as I'm talking about Bitcoin and and the Clarity Act and the impulse move here. Bitcoin is still making new highs for the month. We just saw the highest price just now on the corner of my eye as I was talking right there. Are you guys clicking the buy button because you're excited about Bitcoin? Because I think after I showed a little bit of enthusiasm there, you guys pushed the price of Bitcoin up there for us. Medigo Study says the daily 7.2 is your 50 moving average. All right, let's just go back to that Tether dominance one more time here. We're just going back and forth between Tether and Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin might be going up to 77K here, guys. If you can look for a pullback, maybe you might be able to squeeze out a long. I'm not sure when the pullback is going to come, though. But if you do see a pullback, if you like what you're seeing on the charts, for my day traders out there, it might be worth, trying to long Bitcoin at this point. Watch this be the top, right? I'm over here telling you guys the long, and it ends up being the top. Where's Tether? Where did I put that Tether down? There it is. All right. So you had a 50 moving average on the daily. The 50 moving average on the daily for Tether, we already broke through that a long time ago. Are you talking about like on the weekly time frame? The weekly time frame, I got the 50 moving average at 6.9, 6.98. Monthly time frame, maybe? I don't know. Not the monthly time frame. Hey, what's going on here with TikTok? Did I lose my internet signal with TikTok? What's going? Why is TikTok giving me problems today? Whatever. I don't know why TikTok is doing this to me. We got Tariq in the chat. Let me go ahead and say hi to Tariq. Hey, Tariq, how you doing? I know he's one of my loyal, dedicated followers there on TikTok. And Shafi was in there too, and I don't know what Shafi's doing right now. Hey, Tariq, I see you there, Tariq. All right. That's Not Funny TV says, for most gains, which one would you recommend, Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'm not a financial advisor. Damn, you're gonna ask that question. Both of them are great, Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum, what is the price of Ethereum at? Like 2,300 bucks. If Ethereum gets back up to its all-time high of $4,900, that's a double in price. If Bitcoin gets back to its all-time high at 74K right now, oh my God, look at this. Look at Bitcoin at 74,006. It almost hit 75K while we were looking at tether dominance here. I told you there's really nothing here that I see for resistance until 77K. But to answer your question, that's not funny. I mean, Bitcoin would need if it wants to double, if it doubles in price, it needs to go to 150K to get a double now, right? It needs to go like 149, 150K. If Ethereum gets back up to its all-time high, that's going to be at more than a double. So Ethereum probably has a little bit more performance in it, just trying to get back up to the all-time high again. I would say make sure before you invest in any altcoin, make sure you get a little bit of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to go up first before the altcoins follow the lead. The leader is Bitcoin. So if you want to make money now, especially after we had this vicious bear market over the past year now, you gotta get into Bitcoin. You gotta get into Bitcoin now before Bitcoin becomes expensive. So like what ends up happening is people don't get into Bitcoin, and for those who never touch crypto, they're like, oh shoot, I could have bought Bitcoin at 60K and now here it is at 200K. So then they start looking at altcoins and trying to see if they can play catch up with an altcoin. With you already know about cryptocurrencies. You're already in it. I'm assuming. You could get into Ethereum, and maybe Ethereum does outperform Bitcoin. But what I've also seen happen is I've seen these altcoins go sideways while Bitcoin is catching all the bids and money's going into Bitcoin. Because you have to think about this, like, people who have no idea about crypto, and believe it or not, there's still people who have no idea about crypto and Bitcoin. When they find out about crypto, they're not going to want to touch Ethereum or Solana or XRP, because when they think of crypto, they only think of Bitcoin. They don't know about the other coins. Okay, if they're going to get started with crypto in the first place, they're going to start with Bitcoin because it's been around the longest. They heard about it the longest. They're going to start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's going to catch the bids from the very new beginners that come into crypto. So Bitcoin's going to be the first one to get money sent towards its way. Then you'll see money go into Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, and the other ones that people have been talking about and are on every single cryptocurrency exchange. And then you'll start seeing like money go into like other coins like Sui, Raven Coin, AVAX and Virtuals and Pump and Dog with Hat and the meme coins. Like you'll see them cash their bids after the top dog gets treated first. So Bitcoin gets invited to the dinner table first. Then the others are allowed to take their seats at the dinner table. Okay, but Bitcoin is the king, and I think you should start with Bitcoin first if you don't have any. And even if you do have some, before you add more, I think you should add more to Bitcoin, because I have seen Bitcoin spike up and the altcoins do nothing. And then the altcoins play catch up with Bitcoin. So I think, if you want to make money now, I would say start with Bitcoin. Sir Nap Time says probably because YouTube thinks I'm vlogging or something, so it puts you in a different category. Yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure we got a good amount of views. I know yesterday, Sir Nap Time, I had 4 new subscribers and 155 views on YouTube, which is not normal compared to what I was doing last week. And I don't think it had, it might have had a little bit to do with the little pump that we got yesterday. But I think it had a lot to do also with me doing a YouTube on the phone here, on the mobile. YouTube pushes it out more. And you might be right that they might be thinking I'm vlogging here or something. That puts me in a different category. Tariq says, is this a trap? A fake out? What is that trap? This is a market psychology chart I want to show you guys. This is probably like the most hated rally in Bitcoin because some people are a little bit caught off guard right now. And yeah, it's one of the most hated rallies because some people were still thinking Bitcoin was going down like 40K or even 30K, and that's not happening right now. Let me see. Let me see the market psychology chart. This is a very interesting chart that kind of gives you ideas like where we are in the cycle of things here, guys. It's called the market psychology chart. Let's see if I can. Hopefully, you guys are able to see this. I'll blow it up here a little bit. Oh no, what is that? Was this? No, 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 no. All right. So this is what happens, right? We're starting to go into a disbelief rally here, right? After everybody is angry with Bitcoin and crypto and depressed, they're not going to get their money back or whatever, especially with the altcoins. Now we're getting this here where we're in a disbelief rally where everybody thinks, oh no, this is just another suckers rally, right? And then after disbelief, people are like, this rally will fail like all the others, okay? And then it just continues climbing up and up and to the right. And then people start saying, oh my God, the rally is real. And you get a little bit of optimism. I think we might see that later on this year going into the beginning of next year and the rest of next year. Okay, then people will start believing in Bitcoin and crypto again. And they'll be like, hey guys, it's time to get fully invested. And they're going to start telling their friends and family about it. And then the friends and family, they get in. And there's like a little bit of a thrill because now you're making money with your friends and everybody's getting rich. And then, then you see the crypto hit, you get a 10x on your investment and you're like, oh my God, I'm a genius. And you get the euphoria rally, right? And I think we had that with Bitcoin when Donald Trump got inaugurated last year in 2025. People were a little bit euphoric, because they thought like, oh yeah, we're gonna get the Bitcoin strategic reserve, and then we're gonna get Congress is gonna pass, no tax on crypto and all that stuff, and we didn't get any of that, and then we get a sell off because we didn't get any of that, and then people get a little bit complacent, like, oh yeah, we just need to cool off for the next rally, and then we dump down again, and then it's like, oh shoot, why am I getting margin call? This dip is taking longer than expected to go back up again, and then it dips down more, and then you get denial, and then people are like, oh no, we're in a super cycle. We're this is just a correction, and then we're gonna continue on, and then it dips down more, and then people start panicking, like, oh shit, I'm back to break even, and I'm losing out all my gains and everything. Yeah, so like this is all part of the market psychology, and this is actually not even from crypto. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet for psychology of a market cycle, and this is how people trade with their feelings and emotions, right? So it just repeats itself. After people panic, and then they capitulate, and then they get angry, and then they get depressed, then they start to go into disbelief, like, oh man, oh, we're getting another suckers rally. And then they realize that the rally is real, and then they start believing in Bitcoin again. Like the last 3 cycles that I've been in. I've been in Bitcoin and crypto since 2017. So that was like during the bull market of 2017. My buddy told me about crypto and Bitcoin in 2016, and he told me about Bitcoin when it was at $1,000, and I watched it climb up to like $3,000 before I threw my hat in the ring. And then I saw Bitcoin continually up to like $16,000, $17,000, $19,000, and I thought, I was a genius as well, and that was actually the time to get out. And then I saw Bitcoin drop down to like $3,000, in 2018, and people getting depressed and angry and all that stuff. So that was my first bear market, was 2018. And then I saw the bull market of 2021, and then I saw the bear market of 2022, and then I guess I saw the bear market of 2025. And now here we are in the bear market of 2026, and it's like the same shit all over again. This is my 3rd time around, guys. This is my 3rd time on the merry-go-round. Tariq says, any hope on DOT? Yeah, I guess you're talking about Polkadot. All right, we'll take a look at Polkadot real quick. I guess you guys are gonna keep me busy enough to do a 2-hour live stream. I've been live since 8 p.m. We're about an hour and a half into this live stream here. So yeah, we'll take a look. You said DOT, right? Why did I put pot? Damien, you got your head in the gutter right now. DOT, not pot. Maybe pot later, right? Polka dot. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because it is polka dot. That's why I probably put P in there thinking of polka dot. Polka dot currently trading at 84 cents. 84.5 cents. And you got a 100-day moving average. Could act as resistance at 93.5 cents. And you got a 200-day moving average that should act as resistance at $1.14. Could be a buying opportunity here with these altcoins here. Polka dot here. Let's see. Is Polka dot getting any bullish divergence to get that pop that we saw Bitcoin get? It looks like it. Let me see. Do you see what I'm seeing here with Polka dot? And I believe this was Tariq that asked it, right? Tariq here on TikTok. Yeah, that looks like bullish divergence here to me, Tariq. You got your regular bullish divergence. You got making a lower low, and then even another lower low right there. And here on the daily time frame, you're making higher lows here on the RSI. So you get your regular bullish divergence. This is the beginning of trying to bottom out here for Polka dot or any asset. Even if this was like a stock or a commodity or whatever, I would say this is the beginning of trying to bottom out. Then what do you need to do to actually to become bullish? You need to stop making lower lows. Can this be the last lower low for the year at 72 cents? I don't know, but it needs to. You need to stop making lower lows in order for us to actually start being bullish again here. So what you could do is you could come down to 72 cents and don't go lower than 72 cents and then make that a double bottom and then launch your way up to higher prices. That is still acceptable, but you know what would be better than that is like, how about we never go down? I can't really say that, but like, how about if we just came down and made a higher low, round out, and then come back up again? You identify that, and you can put your stop loss right there below that last higher low there, and then ride this thing up. You put you put your stop loss below there, or even put your stop loss below the low for the year. And if that is the low for the year, you'll never get stopped out because it's the low for the year, right? And you're never going to go down that low again. And then the next thing you want to see is start making higher highs here. And now you got yourself an uptrend, right? You got a high, higher low, a higher high, another higher low, and then another higher high, right? And you got yourself an uptrend. That'd be nice to see, right? So we shall see. We shall see if Polka dot can do that. But I like the fact that there is some bullish divergence here. This is what we were seeing here on Bitcoin, right? On Bitcoin's weekly time frame here, and even a little bit on the daily time frame. But here in the weekly time frame, for sure, we saw Bitcoin was doing that bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. That's what happened, right? Bitcoin. You were wondering, like, is Bitcoin gonna bottom out? And it was a little bit of hesitation, but we were still pushing up, and then boom, we got a good bit of news from Donald Trump and the Trump administration with the SEC and the CFTC. And then also we got the Treasury, buying bonds and lowering interest rates for us. And then what? Then we still got maybe next month a little bit of hopium with the Clarity Act getting passed and voted on next month. So like, now there's some optimism here for Bitcoin. But I know there's some bears out there, and the bears are going to say that, hey, if we don't go past 82,800, you are not making higher highs. You shall not pass go, and you will not collect $200 or 200K or whatever you're collecting here. And this will just still be a downtrend. If we're still making a lower high here, the bears might attack us again and try to bring us down to lower prices. But do I need to repeat myself? Lower prices, if we do go to lower prices, there's a support level here at 42K where Bitcoin was trading at when the Bitcoin ETS first came out in 2024. And then there's a little bit of sideways trading action there at 52K. For some reason, that could also be support as well. But we were getting close to getting support here on Bitcoin, whether it be 52K or 42K. Those are going to be my next support levels to look for. We actually held above 57K. Cash Bandit says, "Am I paper trading?" No, I actually do real trades. But sometimes I do paper trading when I do some of my videos, like my tutorial videos. I have done like trading on demo accounts with like MEXC and WEEX Exchange. If you guys are ready to start trading, I do have on the Meet Damien link tree for my TikTok guys. Since you just asked, right? My TikTok guys, go over to the Meet Damien TikTok channel. It's gonna look like this. Don't forget to hit that follow and subscribe button there. Why is this thing not loading up? But there's a Meet Damien Linktree link in the bio. Click on that, and it gives you the list of exchanges that I'm affiliated with. There's WEEX and MEXC. I know they got demo accounts for you guys to practice your trading there. Right now, if you're ready to start trading with actual real money, AlphaX has the lowest fees because they're not trading any fees here. If I click on this link here for AlphaX, it will take me over to the AlphaX exchange here. They have no KYC, and the fees are $0 fees here on the spot and the futures trading. If this thing ever actually loads up on here, I think I had it over here. Let me see. Yeah, so you can see the 0 fees here on futures, and you could also do traditional finance, and 0 fees on the spot trades. Let me go ahead and click on fees here for you. And there you go. There's the spot fees. So if you want to start dollar cost averaging, it's not going to cost you any money using AlphaX. And same thing with the futures. But here, you know, if you want to start dollar cost averaging, you can go here, buy your crypto. It's not going to cost you anything. You take it off the exchange, you put it on your wallet, you put it on your cold storage wallet, and you don't have to worry about paying extra fees for these exchanges out here. I'm not sure how long this is going to last, so you might want to start signing up right now for AlphaX if you can. I think eventually it will go back to 0.1% here and 0.1% here for the taker and maker fees here. Okay, but yeah, you can see that right now you can get in and start trading, and it's not going to cost you any money on transaction fees, so why not? And they also got some rewards here. Let's see if I click on the advanced rewards here. They got the daily trading competition. They got prize pools here. So there you go. They got some other ways for you to make some money if you really are good at trading. You get a little bit of rewards there for trading on AlphaX. But yeah, that's just one of the exchanges there. Let me just go back to the Meet Damien Linktree link. Another one that I'm affiliated with here is Bitunix. They've been around for a while too. You can trade on them. No KYC. And KCEX as well. Okay. Well, that's my shameless plug for the exchanges there. You use those referral links. That'd be great because I do get a commission for referring you guys to those exchanges there, as being one of the affiliates there. And also by coming on here, I can help you guys out if you run any problems with those exchanges. You give me the user ID, and I can talk to my guys that are working there, and they can help you out probably a lot faster than just going through a regular customer support. All right. Let me check up on my TikTok guys. I am thinking about ending the live stream here. We got Tariq says, "Will you ever recover from HNT?" And then we got Rex says, "Have a look at Injective for you." Okay, let's take a look at Injective, and then we'll see what HNT is doing. Injective. I remember Injective was like the hot crypto back in 2024. I'm assuming not so much anymore, but let's see if it's doing anything exciting for us here. Let's go into the actually, let's start the weekly time frame, because I remember this thing was talk of the town back in 2024. This thing was trading at 33 bucks, 40 bucks. Oh man, 53 bucks was the high back in March. Oh man, so we had basically like a 90% correction since then. Jesus. Well, I guess that's typical of altcoins, right? So we're looking at the weekly time frame here. Let me go into the daily time frame here. I'm assuming you had a good day. Did you? Yeah, you had a good day here on Wednesday. Up 12%, up 4% on Thursday. Oh, let's see. Injective. Okay, yeah, I remember we were talking about this earlier this year that Injective was climbing up, and it did get above this 200-day moving average. So it got the beginning of its bull market already, right? I consider anytime you're below the 200-day moving average, the red line, you're in a bear market. Once you get above the 200-day moving average and you can stay above it, you're starting the beginning of a bull market again. So look at this time. Touch the 200-day once, touch it again twice. Could this be a double bottom of like $4 here? $3.95. If this is a double bottom, let me see if I can draw a trend line here. I'm going to get rid of the moving averages real quick here. But if this is a double bottom, you measure from the bottom here, right, to the top in between the two bottoms up here. And you take that measure, that's your measure move. You take your measure move, you put it on the top of the top in between the two bottoms. It gives you the measure move to the upside here. Looks like we could get up as high as $7.19. I think that puts you right back to what you were doing here in June. You're at like $7.33. So I think it is possible here. That could be a target to the upside, that blue number, $7.19 there. Let's go ahead and throw in the VRP indicator here. See if that's yeah, got a volume node here at 660. Once you get past 660, I think yeah, 730 is your target to the upside for Injective. But going into where we are right now, there is a point of control high volume node here at 510. That could be potential resistance here for Injective. Let me throw in the moving averages. Yeah, it looks like that also puts you right above the 100 moving average here. So I think, yeah, you get up to that point of control at 510. Could be a problem for Injective in the near term here. And once you get past 510, it gets a lot easier to just jump up to higher prices after that, as the resistance starts falling down here on the VRVP indicator. All right. So that was Injective, and then my buddy, I think Tariq was talking about HNT. Helium network, I believe. Oh my God, yeah, this thing is looks like it's dying on us. RIP to Helium. Jeez, this thing is also down and to the right. Has seen better days here in 2024. 2025 wasn't really, doing much for it either. And then, yeah, this, oh my God. Zooming back in again. This thing is down and to the right, down and to the right. Are we getting any bulls divergence? Is that why you're asking me about this one? Looks like you probably could be getting bulls divergence, maybe, if you want to count it as that. Let's see. Get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. Obviously, we are making lower lows here on the price. Yeah, like that, right? We're making lower lows. However, you are now starting to make higher lows here on the RSI. Yeah, does that? I mean, you can see that, right? Lower lows on the price, higher lows on the RSI. That's regular bullish divergence. It means that this asset is beginning to trying to start bottoming out. You got buyers starting to show up here at these lower prices. So that's the only thing that you got going for you for Helium, right? We can still probably sell off again and still make a higher low on the RSI while making lower low on the price and make more bullish divergence. But there is bullish divergence at this moment, and this thing might pop up out of nowhere. All right, let's see. Moving on to, let's see what we got here. Cheers to you, Rec. Thank you for coming on to the live. Don't forget to smash that like button. We got 1,900 likes here. Let's see if we can get 2,000 likes here before the end of this live stream. I'm about to go turn the music up and do the outro music here Thank you guys for coming in. Rex says the music is a little bit too loud. I thought I turned the music down here. I could turn it down a little bit more, but we actually was gonna turn the music up on the way out here. Let me see. What? I thought I did turn the music down. Let me see. I don't think I could turn it down any lower than what it is right now. You would hear no music at that point. But I am gonna turn the music up because we're gonna end the live stream. We'll plan on going live again on Monday here, guys. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I usually go live at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursdays. So be on the lookout for me again here on your TikTok and YouTube stream. Now that we're finally getting some price action going on in cryptocurrency world, it's not so boring anymore again. We'll see if Bitcoin climbs its way up to 77K is where I think it could head next. Before maybe we get a little bit of resistance there. But yeah, I mean, you could just watch the live stream again. But there, I did say that, there is something here around 77K is the next level that I'm looking for possibly shorting Bitcoin and seeing if it actually sticks. If not, then after that, it's 82K. Oh my God, if it does that sooner rather than later, man, I think we should call it the end of the bear market at that point. All right, guys. Let's see. Is there any YouTuber I can send this to here for you guys who would like to continue watching another live stream here? Let me go into YouTube here real quick. I gotta go to let's see. Go to my home page here. Wait, no, subscriptions. Looks like Wave Cypher's streaming right now. Yeah, if you guys want to watch another YouTuber that is knowledgeable on the charts here, we got Wave Cypher. That's the only guy I see here on my subscriptions that's live streaming right now. There you go, like there it is, Wave Cypher working the charts right now. There's also another YouTuber here that I like to watch myself. A little bit more entertaining and has some pretty cool music, and his name would be Road Dog Crypto. And I think Porky also might be going live for you guys who follow Porky. But Road Dog Crypto is another crypto YouTuber here. Very entertaining, also very knowledgeable on the charts, and has some great music here. And he usually goes live at like 10:30, so give it like another 30-40 minutes and you'll see him live. Road Dog Crypto, go ahead and give him a follow, like, and subscribe when you do see him live. And then we also got Porky Flounder. I believe he's starting to do some more streams now that we got some price action going on in cryptocurrency world. Go ahead and give him a subscribe and a follow. He's also on TikTok as well. For my TikTok guys, you can follow him on TikTok. He's Porky Flounder 65. He also talks about crypto as well. And yeah, I like having conversations. Really good. He whatever question you ask on his YouTube live streams, he gets right to it. He's very quick reading the chat. All right, guys, that's going to be it. We'll listen to some music on the way out, and I wish you guys the best of luck in whatever trade you get into. I think Bitcoin is marching its way up to 77K, and I'm not trying to get in the way of that. And right now, I feel like I'd be getting into a late long, so I don't feel comfortable either. So I'm in no trades right now, guys, until Bitcoin gets to 77K. And then I'll probably take a stab at it, at shorting it at 77K. All right, guys, I wish you guys the best of luck in whatever trade you get, and I'll see you guys Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Take care. We'll listen to some music on the way out, and I'll try to answer your questions as we listen to that music. Take care, guys. And Bitcoin basically did a 10,000 point move in the last 2 days. Crazy. We're on the 5-minute chart, just watching this thing continuing being bullish here.